I'm starting with this. My key points will remain around discussing this data journalism as a concept, and because suddenly, and especially when I talk about Indian context, that's why I'm using the word suddenly, because this was a sudden arrival when we looked into the Indian newsroom scenario. So why data journalism? So that is also some points which I'll be discussing, and techniques and methods involved in writing data stories, which also comes from my PhD work. And my PhD work was also understanding and contextualizing data journalism in Indian context. So from that and my interactions with the data journalist at that time has actually made me understand the challenges they are facing. And when we compare the whole scenario of data journalism with other parts of the world, we have different kind of challenges, we have different kind of scenario. So I would be focusing more on that, which means Indian context, and tools for data journalism, which I'll be discussing. And few I would give a kind of a demo, and probably you can also work along with me in order to understand. These are not very, I would say, high profile tools. These are very basic tools, but I'm telling you, if we use it, uh, at least we are not going to be expert in a day, but I'm sure that we will be able to start with this thing. And one of the tools is like professionally used data wrapper for creating data visualization, which is very much easy. And in our daily routine also we can use it. It's not specifically we are going to use it for data journalism, and suddenly we will start writing data stories. If we are doing it, it's really good. But other than that also there will be many avenues where you can use this. So these are the key points which I'm going to discuss, and then I'm starting with the concept part. So one thing we have to always keep in mind when we talk about data journalism, it is not different than the regular journalism or the traditional form of journalism which we are looking into. The only thing is that it is a form of storytelling. And why it is a new form of storytelling? Because it is evolving with the techniques of data analysis, programming, visualization, and carrying traditional journalistic norms. So it's not like suddenly the whole journalism has been changed because we have started talking about data and numbers. Data and numbers have always been there. So even that also we have to keep in mind. It's not like suddenly we have started using numbers. You will not see any newspaper existing uh, in Indian scenario or in world scenario where numbers have not been used. The only thing is that what has changed, that large data sets has started coming in, and we got now new technology. There's advancement in technology, and there are certain tools and software which are allowing you to analyze those large data sets, which was less possibility or a difficult task, I would say, when we compare it with the previous scenario. So that's why this has been started being point of discussion, that what is this whole thing, and why when we are afraid of numbers we switch to journalism and then when now we are in journalism, we are talking about numbers. So that's there, but then this is not the orthodox form of numbers which we are talking about, because in this we are taking help from the tools and software which are helping us. So there's less effort. And then these are few more meanings. I mean literal meaning, you can probably it will give you idea. So one thing is that you analyze the data, and then you generate certain visualizations to make it more understandable. However, visualization is not something certainly you have to use in data stories. You will see many of the data stories which are being published without the visualizations or infographics. But if you publish it, I mean, it will just increase the level of engagement. And then you all the news media platforms have their social media accounts. So rather than sharing something text heavy, if you're creating infographics or some other form of visualization, you can easily share it on the social media platform. So that is the one of the major factor which we can say, that is the engaging. And in more inclusive terms, this is something being given in 2014, that this definition kind of thing. And probably we are working more or less on this model only. This is the model which we are, or we can say workflow which we are using in order to produce the data stories, gathering, cleaning, organizing, analyzing, visualizing, and then publishing data. In all these scenario, one thing we should not forget: the art of storytelling. Because at the end of the day, we are journalists, storytellers. We are not data analysts that simply analyzing the data. And if you are not able to put into a layman language, then probably we are failing somewhere, we are lacking somewhere, because people might not be interested into your tables or the Excel sheets which you'll be showing it to them. People will be interested into the end product. So the end product will be again the story which you are supposed to show it to them. So I hope the meaning is clear. In between, also, if there is any issue or any doubt, you can let it know to the organizers, or maybe you can put it in the chat box. uh, so because I am not seeing the chat box as of now, so that's why. All right. So that I discussed as a concept, but then what has been the catalyst? How data journalism, how we will link this whole growth of data journalism with something. So probably there are two terms which are very much popular, and I'm sure you must have heard it. And these are kind of things. These are the terms which are very much commonly used now: big data, and we say open data. So big data, which is continuously being generated, and there are many avenues where you can go and find large number of data sets. Your own government is publishing, Indian government has a website, www.data.gov.in, which I'll be discussing further in the slides. So what they do, they upload their data sets there, whatever data they are gathering. And this is one platform. And apart from it, if you see any of the ministries website, you will find that they are also uploading their data sets there. And the whole this network of uploading the data sets by your government, private organizations, research works, in fact, and any other database article, right? All these forms, big data. In fact, if you check your phone, I always give these examples to the students. If you check your phone, if you're using smartphone, probably we all of us we use, with few exceptions always, but if you're using it, you can check the amount of data your phone is capturing from you. And probably you are giving it selflessly without, they are not paying you anything, they are not paying you any money, but still you're entering your data happily, right? So the amount of data we are entering ourselves. Now nobody is forcing us. How we are entering it, you see your daily activity. Probably those who are active on social media platform, if you go and check your Instagram account, you can see your logging activity. What is the average time you're spending on the Instagram? There's a whole option available where you can go and see the whole activity being done by you. So that is also part of the big data. Apart from it, if you're having any health related applications, those who are fitness freak, they all are entering their data. What you ate in the morning, what you are, how many calories you are taking in a day, how many steps you walked today. So what you are doing, you're actually adding into the big whole this big data. Now there is no surety whether this big data will be open or not open, right? So if you're entering this information into the application, if that particular application is providing you with this assurance that we will not share your data with the third party, probably you can be a little bit less worried. But we are not sure, like whether they're sharing it or not. So because data is the new oil, we are saying, and data is the new money, we can say. So the amount of money you can make by selling the data, I mean, that is the bigger market these days. So but apart from all these challenges or difficulties or worries, I can say, we are still entering data in some or the other way. So even if you're wearing your smartwatch, just look at it. For a month, you can analyze how many steps you have walked, how many calories you have burned, and from that you take it to the larger level. Say people who are living in Bangalore, they are in a day they are walking 8,000 steps on an average. So how they came to this particular information? Probably there are application on which people are entering their own data, and from there this whole network is being created. Associated term is open data. now, what is open data? Which is available in public domain for free use. I mean, nobody is charging you. So, for example, for your understanding, I can say this data.gov.in or any of the government websites, those are uploading their data sets. That is part of the open data. But in big data, not everything is open data. There is no surety that whatever is being released is also available for the free use. So there will be websites which will charge you to download a data set, or they will not provide you access to the data sets. So they are part of big data, but necessarily not open data. So two concepts which we always link with the concept of data journalism is big data and open data. And data journalism has become possible because it was earlier there also. Because if you look into the history of data journalism, we'll find that tables and all, especially election related reporting or business related reporting, they always have some form of data analysis and visualization. But why we are saying big data and open data as catalyst? Because now it is becoming a kind of we have normalized this thing. We are heading towards normalizing this data into the journalism, and this is more visible now, which we can say it is more visible. Why it is visible? Because it is easier to do now. Now if we have access to tools and everything, we can analyze large number of data sets, which was a very difficult task and laborious task. It used to take a lot of time, to produce election related data. So my interactions with the journalists, they have informed that they used to publish, data related stuff, but then the amount of time they used to spend was, something will cost them, many of the stories, other stories, they couldn't furnish because they were busy with one sort of story. So that's there. But then these are considered as the catalyst of data journalism. I hope there is a clarity with the term. This is not a very difficult thing, but we need to have an understanding what is open data and what is not. So not everything is publicly available for you, but we look, as a journalist, we look into what is more publicly available. If even if we are able to make sense out of that, that is, I think more than enough today. Now I was in the beginning I mentioned why data journalism. So one thing is that journalism has always been seen as a field where people will come in order to avoid, the numbers, right? Those who have certain kind of, even I have a maths fear. I mean, I still did, I have maths fear, right? So it's not maths. One thing I would like to clarify, it's not maths at all. It's just the understanding the the context, the way numbers have been presented, right? And this is not a big task if we just put some effort. The only thing is that we do not put effort. And I'm telling you, I used to be a very bad student, a very poor student, I would say, in the maths class when I was in school. So over a period of time, I learned, and obviously technology has also helped us, that numbers is something we should not afraid of, right? And this literacy we can promote, the data literacy with journalism we can promote. That is why data journalism is important. We need to talk about it. Apart from it, I would show you this picture. If you see this picture, will you be able to figure out the problem in this visualization? BJP is having 65 seats. I mean, this is when the election results they were discussing. But if you see the visualization, the that particular portion is bigger than the Congress 136 number. So 136 number is bigger than the 65. But if you see the portion which they have devoted to 136 is lesser than the 65 number. However, technically it should be like the Congress portion should be. Now just for the disclaimer, I'm not favoring any party. This is some picture I'm just sharing for 1 second. I was just trying to log in from other device, sorry. Okay, so uh, now you understand, like if a common man will see, and this is one picture I'm telling you, which I this is my own observation when I was just checking the Karnataka elections. And there are many avenues from where you can see how misinformation is being, now passed on to the readers with the help of data. And if you see any of the programs, many of the channels, they will use data to misinform people. This is one example, and there are many examples you will find where visualizations have been used to mislead people. So in order to promote this literacy, data literacy, data journalism is important. And if we do more stories about data, and we explain how this story has been done to the readers, which apparently the Hindu is doing in its column data point, when they're publishing their column data point, they do mention their methodology part, how they have done it. So even if a layman or any reader is trying to understand that, so with one reading, two reading, I mean, if you become a regular reader, you will automatically start getting it. Okay, what does it mean? So for that purpose, we really need to understand. Now, coming back to the again the data journalism concept, I'll be discussing these basic steps. So in the very beginning, it was part of the definition by the author, one author. But broadly, if you'll see, overall, this is the step which we follow: gathering, cleaning, analyzing, visualizing, and publishing. Now, what are these steps? I'll discuss these steps, one by one in detail. But broadly, this is how we go. We first we collect the data, and to collect data, you need to have an understanding from where I can get the data. So that understanding can be developed by little bit of research, and few of the avenues I will share with you today. And cleaning is something, the way you get data is not something you will be able to make sense out of it. So one example I'll give you: I was attending one workshop. This is from that particular workshop, this information, uh, that they were doing a story on Bihar floods. So when they were cleaning the data, when they downloaded the that particular data set, they found that in one particular row, this number of villages they have mentioned, some 6,000 something. So some numbers they have used. If you are not paying attention, or if you will not recheck that information, probably you will end up doing a very poor story. Why? Because there are not 6,000 villages in Bihar at all. So this is somewhere around 600 or something. Or and the zero was a typo. So while entering the data by the authority, whosoever was entering the data, they put it like this is I don't remember the exact number, but for your understanding, I'm telling you, instead of 1,000, they instead of 100, they mentioned it in 1,000. So if you'll not check this information while cleaning, you have to see all these things. Sometimes one particular information will be entered twice. So cleaning is the process where you will look into all these things. Duplicates will be there, typos will be there, some other wrong information will be there. And another disaster was done by the Karnataka government when they released the COVID related data. So when they released the data, what they did, they put all the data in the public, where name of the patient, phone number, address, everything was there, right? So our government is also now, I mean, now they're trying to come up with a new bill and everything, but still I'm telling you the 3 years backstory, where they have published all this information in the public. Now that is something already uh, challenge with those patients. Probably people, those who are living in their surrounding, not probably, I'm telling you, this happened actually. People started boycotting it because they got to know that a person living in my neighborhood got COVID. So they started boycotting it. So the whole problem arises with that. And as a journalist, if we also do the similar mistakes, right? We do not need address, right? We do not need names when we are doing story. That is not required. What we need is context. What we need is pattern. How many people are affected out of the total population? I think that is enough for us. So the cleaning process is something, we should always spend more time on the cleaning part. Then automatically your analysis will become easy, because now you have cleaned the data, you know what you require. And probably based on that, you will see what kind of analysis you can put in, and that will come from the experience. Today I can give you some of the ideas, but then it comes from the practice only. How to read a data set is another skill which you can work on. So if you just download a data set, I would ask you to just look into the data set and see what kind of things you can get out of that particular thing. Then probably you will move to the analysis part, because that's the next step. first is to understand how to read a data set. So then visualizing is there, then you finally publish the story. So I'll come back to my thesis. Before this is these are some models given by different this is the I have picked from the Paul Bradshaw, but there are many other models available which will tell you, how to go about the data journalism thing. So it starts from compiling the data, cleaning the data, getting the context, combine, communicate, and when you're communicating, you can communicate it with the visualization, narrate, socialize, humanize, personalize, utilize. So one thing is that whenever you are using all these steps, after analysis, when you are writing the story, do not forget to put the human element. So what does it human element? Because you have analyzed the data set, you got the context, but if you're not linking it with the human, the whole idea of human interest in the journalism, that basic idea you also have to keep. For example, in one of the stories by indiaspend.com, they did a story on truck drivers, and they were actually looking into how they started actually. They started with the data set where they downloaded the road accidents, data about the road accidents, and they found that most of the road accidents are involving the truck. So then they explore it more, why trucks. Then from that they got the idea that we should talk to truck drivers, right? I mean, why it is like that. Then when they talked to truck drivers, they told a very astonishing, and we know it, but then the kind of aspect they have been able to bring in with the help of data was amazing. uh, Truck drivers told that we do not sleep for 3 days. We are continuously driving, and if we delay this delivery, they will cut our salary or money. So our money will be cut, and in order to deliver the things on time, they do not sleep, right? And now imagine if they have just done the story, okay, in this year only the truck is something, is the major category where accidents are taking place. But they went beyond this particular information. They talked to many truck drivers, and then they actually started their story with the quote of a truck driver, and then gradually they came to whole in analysis and information. So if we are bringing these kind of human aspect and human element, probably we will be able to connect with the readers more, right? Simply if you're putting some analysis, I would say that will not attract the audiences. So this is one of the models, but and again there are so many other things. But what I showed you in the this particular slide is majorly coming. All other models are including these particular elements only, or these particular steps only, and based on that they have given their own model. So I have also used certain model which is based on the Indian scenario, right? So this is part of my PhD work. When I was doing my PhD, I interacted with many of the data journalists. So you will also see the similar kind of thing, but then here few things are there: finding source of data, then data extraction. So why this particular step we have to include here in Indian context? Because poor data literacy. There is no ombudsman, or there is no particular authority to whom you can actually go and ask for the data. So probably they upload the data, but then they upload in a format in which it cannot be analyzed. So Excel, CSV, all these formats you need to analyze the data. So you have to extract the data from a non-analyzing format to a format in which you can actually analyze. So then the next step comes in cleaning the data, analyzing the data, interpreting the data, because how data has been gathered, that is also will be included in the analysis part. But then you have to bring certain interpretation for your readers, because your readers are not, again, that literacy is there, but probably they are not data literate. So that kind of thing also they have to keep in mind. So another step which they said, that reporting if required, because we are living in a country where obviously a lot of challenges are there. And then if we talk about these kind of advanced form of journalism, why we call it advanced form? Because we have to rely on certain things. We cannot simply go into the field, talk to four or five people and come back and file the story. So data journalism starts from the data, and we lack in so many sectors where data is not available. If it is available, poor data is available. If even if the poor data is available, then there will be another sort of challenges. We cannot sometimes rely on the data also. So that's why they said that we have to go on the ground. If some report is claiming, this is again not actual data. For example, I'm just telling you, if a data is claiming that number of students or the number of enrollment of students has increased in the schools, right? So will you believe that data? Or so I think there is some reporting required. So you go to the ground and then you report it, you check it whether there's a reality or not, or is there any mismatch between the data and the actual picture. So that kind of thing you have to do. In India, you cannot take the risk, by simply looking into the data and then in some of the sectors, obviously, then file the story. In few of the sectors you can still go with the data, but then there also you're supposed to get it a confirmation, which you usually do in any of the story, where you talk to the authority, you take quotes from various people. So that kind of thing we already doing it. So that thing you have to always take care of. And then visualizing data, and then writing news stories. This is how it goes. And in Indian context, most of the things are coming with the visualizing data, because it is considered as something, visualizations are easier to understand. If we create simple visualization, easier to understand, and then probably you write the whole news. So I'll move to this part now. If you look into this thing, I'll show you one story. When I'll move to next slide, in few of the slides I'll show you some of the stories. You will get the idea what I'm talking about. So textual analysis, infographics, table, list, embedded content, visualization, multimedia content. Some of these contents you will find in most of the stories being published as data stories. So platforms where you can go and read data stories. So international, you can see big organizations, Guardian, BBC, the Upshot by New York Times, 538.com. And even Associated Press is also having data driven stories. In Indian context, this is a India. I forgot to make it bold. So the Hindu, India Spend, Hindustan Times, Live Mint, they all are publishing their stories. So I'll just move to one of the tabs to show you the kind of stories being done by India Spend. Is it visible? Can you see this web page?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this is a very interesting story which they published today only. How much time do Indian women spend on self care? So if you ask this question to yourself, being women, those who are present here, you can think of it. How much time you spend on self care? You can say no. I mean, yeah, I spend some hour. Weekly, I spend some 2 hours. But if you look into if you want to know the bigger picture, like is it same with all the women? So this particular story has been done by India Spend based on the data released by different two reports like Oxfam report, and then they have used time use survey in 2019 to bring out the other aspects. So I'm just showing you this story, that how they start. They have to bring the human aspect into this thing. So they start with this, but this headline is itself interesting, that how much time do Indian women spend on self. So if you see the beginning of the story, they have started with the Narayan Murthy's quote, which he has just made a statement in public with invited so much controversy. And then they gradually move to what is the scenario. Most Indian working women work 70-hour week anyway. So that includes unpaid work. So basically household things, you do it. And those who are working women, like professionally also working, they also tend to work do the unpaid work. And so if you see, this is the this particular line. The report found that Indian women do the most unpaid care and domestic work of any country globally except Kazakhstan. We cannot even compare, because their GDP is quite lower than the India. So when we look into the, some comparison, we also have to compare ourselves with the parallel things. For example, Indian media will keep comparing India and Pakistan. Oh, petrol is cheaper in India than Pakistan. So look at the economy of Pakistan, right? it is good from the political point of view. Political motivations might be telling you, oh, compare everything with Pakistan, or the propaganda of the Indian news media. But look at the economy of Pakistan. Look at the population of Pakistan, and we have been just been declared as the world's fifth largest economy in the world, and then you are comparing yourself with the Pakistan. So probably if you make a comparison with China, that will be able to bring you a better picture. Or this is the overall scenario. But if you really want to compare yourself with the Pakistan, Nepal, or Bhutan, any, so there should be some similarity, some homogeneity in the data. Suddenly, you cannot compare anything with anything. So that kind of clarity, we have to bring in, which probably Indian especially Hindi news media or regional media people, and even in English, we saw Times Now report also, right? They do it intentionally, or there is a lack of literacy. So that is another area of research. What is the problem? So if you look into the story, this gives you some information on it. The It will give you an idea how data stories being covered. Uh, Other resources, these are resources which are actually helpful for you if you want to explore more about this particular concept. You can go to these particular platforms. They have given certain information about the data journalism and night science journalism or night lab. They keep on experimenting with certain tools, and they offer many of the courses on data journalism time to time. These days I have just enrolled to one course, citizen security and data journalism, which is interesting. It has just started, just a week. So this is one of the courses, but in past also they have launched many of the courses. If you're interested, you can go and explore this particular website. And these are other resources, which I'm sure coordinator is super active, so she might have copied it for you, and or the organizer team. So it will be with you. You can check it anytime. I have just added for you people only. Now, coming to the techniques and methods involved for writing data stories. So I told you at the very beginning, storytelling is must. Visualizations, infographics, maps, tables, etc. are prominently used in database stories. Uh, if you use it, actually, it will just enhance your reader's engagement, right? So that way, it is always recommended. But in some of the stories, if it is not possible, it is not a mandatory, or it is not an essential condition that no, you have to include the visualization. If you are able to do it, fine. If you're not able to, then also it is fine. You can still publish your story. But also look into whether data demands visualization, then certainly you should include. Database stories are more factual and less anecdotal, so that's there. So you will have more factual information and less anecdotes, because your data is sufficing many of the things, but anecdotes, if you are able to bring in, that will supplement the whole thing. It actually complement each other when you mix factual information analysis part with the anecdotes. So which is like being done. So now we'll just do certain things. Let's understand the process. So one thing I told you, finding the data. So you can find data. For that, you have to little bit generate the understanding, some export knowledge, context, and databases are there which you can explore. One very simple step is scraping the data. So scraping, however, is something discouraged when it comes to doing some authentic sort of work. But in some of the cases, it can actually help you when you're doing some human interest related stuff. So there you can go and actually uh, experiment with the data scraper. So what I'm using today is instant data scraper, which is a extension of Google Chrome. Those who have Google Chrome, you can try downloading it. Actually, it will be good experiment if you can do it. So if you can search about instant data scraper, so it will show like this. All right, because I have already downloaded, so it is showing me remove from the Chrome. So I already have the extension. If I click on this icon extension, it shows me instant data scraper. All right, so if I click on this, so it is showing, because it doesn't support data extraction from this website, we cannot extract. But I will open one website. So I was trying with Shodh Ganga. So you can click on anything. Say I want to actually research these terms. media studies. I would like to see some information about the media studies. So this particular, now whatever will be visible on the web page, it will scrape only that particular information. So that you have to keep in mind. So once I click on this, I have to click on the instant data scraper, and you can see it can scrape the information from the website. Apart from this, I can try it with one more website. This I keep on searching this website, so I'm more familiar with this. So I just check the Madhya Pradesh elections. So now it can scrape whatever is available on this web page. So I would prefer doing this. And again, I'll click on the instant data scrape, and it has scraped all the data which was available on the web page. Now you got so many things here. I'll come to the cleaning part and then I'll discuss this. So you can download this CSV format, XLS format. So probably I'll prefer this, and you can see I have downloaded it, and now it is available in the Excel format. Now it has downloaded so many things, but probably I don't need this. All right, I don't need this. So this way I can do it. I mean, whatever I need I can keep, rest of the information I can delete, which is part of data cleaning. So I'm not touching that part as of now. I'll go back to my presentation. So you got the point. Data scraper. So this is free, but only works with the Google Chrome, because this is a Google tool, and it can scrape text also. You already seen that, right? Numbers, whatever is available on the website, it will scrape for you, and you can use it for your own purpose, whatever your purpose is, right? So this is one thing. When you're finding data, probably you found data in the form which is not obviously not in the form of, we can simply I'll say in the format of Excel or CSV. So you'll not be able to do anything with that data. And if you copy web page, you know what it will do to you. So it's better you scrape it and put it into the Excel format and do whatever you want to do further analysis. So further things in finding the data would be, uh, you go for the government ministries websites of organizations such as National Crime Bureau. uh, you will see many of the stories being coming out, which are being done based on the data provided by NCRB, in short. Then you can also look for research papers published in reputed and peer-reviewed journals, but you have to be very careful when you are looking for the papers. Then you have to check, and as an academician, most of you are already aware of this fact that we have this certain criteria how we decide peer-reviewed journal is there or not. And even if it is a peer-reviewed, I would suggest you to look into the methodology of the paper, how they have gathered the data, what was the sampling method. So any good paper will explain their methodology in detail, and that will help you in getting the idea whether you can, pick it for your story or not. So when I was interviewing journalists at that time, one journalist informed me that occasionally they do pick research papers for their research work, and sorry I mean for the data stories thing. uh, but they have certain criteria. For example, they will pick something from EPW because that's more reliable. So similarly, they had certain criteria to pick up whether research paper will be the a source of data or not. So each organization will have their own uh, some their own ways of finding whether we are going to select it or not. Selection criteria, they keep it. So each organization will have their different selection criteria. That's there. But as an individual, I would suggest that we should always look for the methodology part. Then data presented in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This is a very good source of information which we hardly use it. The Hindu and other platforms in between, they use this whatever the answer being presented by your MP in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha, that can also be a good source of information for you, and based on that you can have a story. Recently you might have seen that story about the how enrollment ratio of SC/ST students is decreasing in higher institution. So that data was not published as such anywhere. That was actually an answer given by an MP in the Lok Sabha. and all these replies are being uploaded on the Lok Sabha website. You can go and check that website. You will find many of the responses in the written format. That's also a very good source of information. Apart from it, all these websites, WHO, UNESCO, sorry, there's a again typo, UNESCO, UN, etc. These are the websites which they publish different sort of data sets. So what you are interested in, that also you have to specify, because so many avenues are available. For example, if you ask me, I'll be more interested into political type of stuff. Political means election related stuff, voting related data, election results. I'll be more interested in political party, their funding. I'll be more interested in that part. So what is your interest area? Accordingly, you can go and search for the data. Then these are very common data sources which are being used by the journalists, censors, and NSO, Election Commission of India. All these, are the common data sources which they keep on referring, because you'll keep finding, information from these websites. And census is still we are yet to have the new census survey, which is hanging in between, but still most of the studies are coming based on the old census data, but soon probably we can hope that we will have the new data as well. So that's there. And these are again, some of the links, of which I would ask you to go to this Gapminder and dataset search Google data search Google. So both of the websites will show you the data, I mean different sort of data which you can use it. So they have their this Gapminder will have this kind of data where you can babies per woman, child mortality, daily income. So they have a database. I mean, if you click on this data, this will give you data about many of the countries, right? So population, life expectancy, GDP. So if we see, just check or click on this particular link, it will give you data about so this is very extensive data. It starts from 1800, and then if you just scroll left to right, it goes till 2000. I mean, they have some predictions as well. So it is too, I mean, too extensive. So what you need out of it, again, you have to download this particular data set, and again you have to clean it. What you want, probably you are not interested in all the countries. You're interested in few of the countries, Commonwealth countries, or you're interested in in a particular continent. So that way you have to select. That's again your choice. Similarly, this is also very simple platform, data search dot research dot google.com. If you check this, this is a little bit simple. Here you can have any query. You can search about any particular I don't know, I mean, all information might not be available, but then uh, whatever they have, it is kind of like Google is not releasing any data. It is simple, similar to Google search. It is similar to Google book search, or similar to Google Scholar, where you are able to find different research paper. So again, whenever you are clicking on any say uh, any sort of data query, it will tell you from where it is coming. So this is from the Statista. So this is also a good platform where you can go and find statistics and all right. I hope this is giving you some sense of the different platforms where you can go and check. And this is Google Trends, which probably but still, I can show you. This is Google Trends. So this is good in the sense that where you want to do some. I mean, this is my understanding. I believe this is not good for very robust kind of information, but it is good to understand what is the trend. To understand the trend, this is a good thing. So if you go to this trending now, it will show you because I have selected India. You can select any of the country, right? Any of the place. I have selected India. So see what is trending in India. Aaj Tak. Okay. Arun Yogi Raj. So because this person's name has been searched because of he's in news because he's the one who created the scripture for Lord Rama. So all these queries, and one thing you always have to be you have to keep in mind, this is Google Trends. So whatever database is available with the Google, it only shows you that information. So when you're writing your story, you have to specify this particular data is coming from the Google Trends. And that clarity you should always give. So attribution is very important whenever you are doing any sort of story. Please attribute from where you have got the data. All right, I'll move ahead because it's 5:50 already. So I would like to move ahead. I'm sure you got the idea. And so whatever source you use, I'll ask you to follow this. Select a data source
We are
for your
learning
story.
a lot.
So select a data source for your story. Then look for methodology. See what happens when you get the data. No, you just start working on the analysis part. So if you really want to be precise in your information, if you really want a precision kind of thing in your work, I would always suggest, and not I suggest, this comes from the readings I have, and there are many scholars you will find that those who will suggest you read the methodology, how they have collected the data. That's really important. You will see many of the faulty survey coming in that next year, BJP is going to be the again in the power. There's a some survey has been done. Rahul Gandhi is the dumbest person, dumbest politician. There is a survey which says that. But how you gather the data? Who participated in that survey? If there is no clarity, then you should not pay attention to those kind of opinion polls or survey coming in. So whenever you receive data, always go back and check for the methodology. And uh, all these websites which I have mentioned before, if you go and check their website, they always mention what is their methodology, what methodology they have used, what was the sampling technique, who participated in this survey. All those information they will always give. Any of the research paper, you're all academicians, right? You all are working with the data. So whenever you're writing your dissertation, whenever you're writing your PhD work, definitely you mention your methodology, isn't it? That why you mention it? Because that brings a credibility in your work, and that brings a kind of confidence in your work. You can confidently say that yes, this is the way I have collected the data, why I have included these many people, and why I have excluded these many people. So this information you should always check. So that's a golden rule, because data is not something you can always rely on. Data is something you should always question. So data can give you many answers, but data can always bring you into the trouble also. So that is really really important. uh, so second thing is that after finding the data, interrogating the data, which is something I was also referring to. So sometimes you cannot understand the data set, because some of the jargons are being used, some of the technical terms being used, and you are not familiar with that, because obviously as a human being, it is not something we will know everything. There will be many things which we are not aware of. So for that, you just go back and read the reports. They always mention the technical aspects and the jargons they have used in the report. So interrogate that kind of thing. Then third point is cleaning the data. So cleaning the data, which I just showed you, after downloading the data, whatever I don't need, I will remove that thing, and I will focus mainly on the things which I need, right? So duplicates are there, some error is there, typo is there. So you do this in the cleaning part. Then these are some of the things which you are supposed to do when you are cleaning your data. So uh, these are the few things which you can keep always in your mind. If you read this will give you the some understanding that inspect your data top to bottom. These are the do's. And keep a copy of original file. So never mess up with the original file. Whatever you have downloaded, please do not perform any of the formula or function on that file. Please keep it separate and make a copy of it. Perform whatever function or formula you want to perform it on a separate file, so that it should not get spoiled the original work. Then in case of multiple tables, get rid of headers and categorize them, because so many things are there. You have to merge it into one category. Make sure headers match their respective data. Check the sequence of the index. Separate column for calculation. So there should be uniformity in the names which are giving. So these all these things are some of the nuances which you will be able to understand once you start working with the data. So if you're not getting too much of it or not getting it, so it's not a problem, because unless you work with the data, you probably will not be able to understand. But my job is to give you all the information, possible information. And don't when you are cleaning the data, so if you leave a blank space in between, so that will spoil your calculation, that will affect your calculation in a way. So abbreviations is something you should not use, because later on probably you will not be able to understand what is the meaning of this abbreviation if it is not commonly used. Duplicate values, you have to trailing space, because there's so much space in between, the below the data set, so we don't need that. So all those things, there's some formulas and everything which can always be used to keep those spaces out, and then irrelevant or extra headlines are there, so that you are supposed to remove. Now, fourth step is getting the story out of data. Now you have everything, right? You have cleaned the data. How will you bring out story out of it? So some of the statistical and mathematical processing, bit of it you should know it. And I'm telling you, these are the simple things which you can use. One is sorting and filtering in Excel can answer many of your questions. Simple totaling can give a perspective. You can look for internal and external comparison. You can compare within your organization, or you want to compare with other organization, that can also be done, right? You can look for proportion, like how much money being spent by a political party on the campaigns out of total funds. It will give you a perspective, right? Simple answer. Just look into how much this ruling party, especially BJP party, is spending on campaigns, maybe in this elections, or maybe previous year elections. So whatever you want to pick out, you can look for change over a period of time. Expenditure on online political campaigns over a period of time by a political party, or many of the multiple political parties. You can pick that kind of information, or you can look for geography based data and compare. So I'll show you one thing. This is I hope you all have access to Google Sheets, right? So I'm not talking about Excel. So you have to open this sheets, because this works with the sheets only. If you open sheets, this is the formula which we use. If you can copy that formula, Nirmala ma'am, for the participants, you can use it later also. What it does actually, when you so if you just use this import HTML function, you have to put the double quotes, uh, and this information is available here. This is not an Excel format, right? You cannot do anything with this data. So this particular you keep this particular page here, because it will capture from here. Copy it, put this formula here. Then you have to close the double quotes, comma, table. There's not only one table, so probably I can put one. Even if I'm not putting one, it will, I guess, not. I should not put the number, because okay, there's, I think, some mistake I'm doing. I have to close again. Yeah, double quotes I have to put again. For table also I have to put the. So it will just it has just imported the data into Excel. You got the point? I hope you're getting it. So now you got all this information in the Excel. Now this is your master sheet. I suggest not to do anything in this. You copy this, make a copy of it, or which you can make it from here easily, or you can download it in the form of Excel or something. So whatever ways is convenient for you, you do it, and then you can perform the functions. So what I was suggesting you, simple sorting and filtering. So for example, if you want to see how you can use sorting and filtering in Excel, so there's a this funnel kind of icon there. Create a filter. If you create a filter, now simply you want to see uh, you clear everything. I would see party wise. I'm more interested in BJP and Congress, so I would say I will just check. So it will show you only the information about BJP. Probably I would be more interested into only BJP. I would see BJP. Now all the information about the BJP, their education level, total assets, and everything is there, right? So there are few more things which you can actually learn and work, like, because this is this column is carrying, text also and number also. So whatever formula you want to perform here, even if you want to make a total out of it, it will not allow you to do. So you can actually do that separation also, split text to columns. So I will not perform here because this will spoil my sheet. So if I just copy this to another sheet, and then I try to, so it will do like this, but then you always have the option. You can do it like, you can give it options like space. You can custom means you can, if it is like some other some icon is there, this icon is there, I can put this, and then accordingly I can do it. So these are the options. Detect automatically, it detects automatically, or you can separate it through comma, semicolon, whatever is there, right? So I will not use comma because it will just ruin the whole number here. So I will not do that. And I custom and I use this icon because this icon was not required. So based on this. So these are some small functions which you can use in sheets, and this will help you in in calculating and understanding the numbers. Now you will also see there are some blank columns here. So before you delete this row, you have to go back and check your actual data, whether this was a
Ma'am, just a minute. I'm not able to get. I'm not able to import the file into my Google Sheet. Can you show us that once again, please?
yeah, sure. uh, you have to use this particular formula. Are you putting double quotes there? Which websites you have opened?
The same, my Neta.
Okay. So have you put the double quotes here, just like I have done here?
Oh
I
no,
will.
no, 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 no.
So you have to do this, otherwise it will not read. This is the formula.
Okay, but still, it's not importing.
Have you also mentioned this table thing? What I have mentioned here, double quotes. This one.
Oh no, not again.
So you have to exactly do the thing, and it will come.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
All right. So, I mean, probably I'll not be able to give you a full demo, but I'm sure I'm giving you some ideas. And this is what I was saying. Sorting and filtering can give you a perspective. Totaling, you can just look into the, total number of, sorry, this one will come. So you can just look into the total assets, owned by all the BJP, members who won. So now one thing also, be very sure when you're downloading the data, please give, title to it. So these are winners, right, of this MP election. So I have to maybe some title you create, and there you should keep this information, what this data is all about. Because if you later on you may not remember, like from where you have imported this data, and what is the meaning of all these things, right? All are women, so this is all about the women candidates who won in Rajasthan. I guess I did it for Rajasthan. Again, that's also a mistake on my side. I didn't put here Hari. I was just experimenting. So that's how you can with some calculation you can find these kind of information, like how many doctorates are there, how many postgraduates are there. It's up to you what you want to look into from the data. Now, these are some simple calculation. I'll just wind it up so that you can ask me question that will be better. I'll be able to answer you if there are more queries. So this is the formula. Basically, this is the formula: import HTML URL and query index, and then this is how you have to. Then processing data journalism, visualizing data. So at this stage, data is converted into information through the use of graphics, pictures, diagrams, and charts. So now you can visualize it. So ideally data visualization should increase our understanding. It is not some fancy thing we should include because it looks nice, right? It should also give you some insights, and it should explain, more things than the text, and to communicate clearly, more clearly than words actually. So I'll show you again. We don't have that much time, and it requires little bit of you know uh, work before we actually can visualize. So this I'm showing you about my work, which I published here. So this is a story a long back I did, but still I can give you because this is in my data wrapper thing. So uh, the platform which I'm using is data wrapper. If you simply search about data wrapper in Google, it will directly show you data wrapper. You click on this, this will take you to the platform which I'm talking about. So there are many platforms for creating data visualization, but due to shortage of time, I'm just focusing on one, and more comfortable with this particular tool than this. Apart from it, there are many other platforms. I'll talk about that, but I'll just give you some information now. This particular story I published, wildlife road kills on the rise in India, shows official data. So this data was again coming from the query which I have linked. If you just link on it, click on it. So this is again this was the original data set. Okay, from here I got the information. This is was again submitted as a reply in the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, which I just told you. So Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So I use this particular data to visualize this thing. So this is the final output of tiger deaths due to vehicles, then elephant deaths due to train hits India, 14 to 15, 15 to 16, 16 to 17, and then total. Simple visualization. If you someone just looks into, it gives you pretty much idea when was the more number of deaths, which year had the more number of deaths. So if you look into this, gives you pretty much idea. Now to create this, what I did, once you are on this, I have signed in already, and it takes you to the dashboard. You can create new chart, map, table. Three options are there. So you select the chart. If you want to create a map, you create a map, and if you want to make a table, you make a table, right? So this was my published thing, which I use, which I'm showing it to you. Probably I'll not be able to give the full demo, but you will get the idea, right? So this is like first step is upload the data. So I uploaded the data here, or you can copy paste also, and check and describe. So it is coming like this. You can see this is 15 data, this is 16 data, 17, and this is like total. Okay, and next step is visualize. So it also gives you the option that other kind of things you can also create, but I chose this because I believe this is giving better information than any other type of visualization. This is there, and then you publish and embed. So this is already published, so that's why it is showing republish. So you can link this visualization from here, or you can embed means you can copy this code and paste it in your web page wherever you want to incorporate it. So we have been able to incorporate here with the embedding thing. And simple visualization you can create. Another thing I can show you, which is not published, but for your understanding I can show you this one. This is just for the understanding purpose. I use some election data about Kerala. So data was about Kerala, so I chose this particular Kerala Assembly constituency. I am not choosing parliamentary constituency because this is a data about Assembly constituency. So if you look at this information, you should have a clarity before you choose any of these things. This take Assembly constituency, parliamentary constituency, so which is obviously you will have, because it's not some difficult thing. And then add your data here. I have added the data here. And one thing you have to data wrapper, if you leave the row blank, it will not be able to read. So probably you have to put zero. If there is no criminal record, you have to put zero. Or there is no criminal cases registered, better to remove that, because if you put anything else, text or something, it will not be able to read. So this kind of things will be easily generated, and this is a dynamic form of visualization. If you click on any of the constituency, it will show you how many criminal records per constituency they had. So this is a DIY tool. So DIY tool, do it yourself. I have not taken any training from anyone to understand. Yes, I had
Uh,
consulted
Ma'am,
my mentor.
from where do you take this data, ma'am? Could you repeat this?
Again, I checked this myneta.info. From there, this kind of information is available. I can show you also.
Yeah, we have to
If you
copy paste, right, ma'am?
yeah, see, before you visualize, you have to analyze it, right? So probably you have to bring this kind of information out of the data set. So how you will do it? Again, you have to perform certain calculation. So in this case, if you see this particular website, this provides you data which can be used as it is, but still you have to do certain type of cleaning and calculation before you actually perform it. For example, now this is winners with declared criminal cases, right? So if you click on this, this is giving you information about the criminal cases per party. So from here only I imported the data into Google Sheets. In Google Sheets I performed some calculation, and after performing the calculation, probably I'll pick up the constituency where there is the highest number of criminal cases. So only like constituencies where criminal cases are more than 10 or more than 20. So that way I can decide what I want to visualize. So based on the data again, because there is no particular rule or formula I can tell you that to include. Again, I have to look into. For example, in this case, 14 is seems to be the highest number, right? So I can pick up the 14. Then I can pick up the other numbers which are coming in the row like 12, and then all the 111 thing I can combine into one, like others, those who have one criminal cases registered against them, so I can probably put them into one. So some calculation you have to perform, then only you can visualize this kind of. All right. So then you have to again publish this and embed it. So when you publish it, it will give you the link to copy the link to embed or publish somewhere. So, and they give you some information. If you just glance through this website, they have given information that how you can work with the data sets. I'll just take my 5 minutes and then I'll wind up at 6:14 already. So these are the common applications for data visualization. Flourish, Data Wrapper, Tableau, Infogram, Google Maps, Google Earth. These are also used, but I'm not very familiar with it. Timeline.js is also there, which is developed by Knight um, Chair, but most of your things will be done by Flourish and Data Wrapper. Tableau is another thing which again you have to take a training kind of thing to work on. And there are other applications also which I can tell you verbally. R programming is there. Those who are very good with I mean, I don't have any background in computer science, so Python, people learn Python and R programming. If you have any access to these program, if you can learn these program, and if you're interested, actually, I mean, that's the first thing. So probably you can go for those things. I mean, if anyone who is ready to mentor you, in that case, taking a guidance would always be better. I'm not good with the coding and all, so I'm learning Tableau, which I'm finding something easier. So these are some types of visualization: maps, scatter plots. So I'll just glance through it. So simple. This is something simple map. There's no dynamism in this. You can simply create it, and in the Excel also, or some other platform, and just import it as an image. So this is basically image format. This is not some dynamic where I can scroll over and see the numbers and all. That's possible when you're publishing something on the website. If you have to print it in the newspaper, then probably these kind of visualizations will work better. Then these are heat maps. Heat maps are used to stress on particular things, right? So this is giving you some information about the traveling for Independence Day, how many people were traveling. So wherever more concentration will be there, you will see more colors to that side. Wherever there is no traveling, it's blank. So heat map is used to give stress on certain things. So that's there. uh, then another thing, this is also another form of heat map where you're trying to show something, you're trying to stress on certain regions where wherever severe heat waves were there. Then this is another very commonly used bar chart, which I have taken a screenshot from indiaspend.com, which is used to show comparison between different variables. And this is a very good story, actually. I mean, this you can also go back and read. They have done a very good story about the children in government schools, right? And their reading. To, I mean, to what level they can read and understand maths and other languages. This kind of story. Then line chart is there, where you want to show a trend over a period of time, which you must be seeing commonly. So this is a kind of understanding relation between two variables, how it has been changed over a period of time. Anything, you can see the accidents, you can see the rail accidents over a period of time. Then this is another form, same thing, just showing a trend rise of chart in newspaper. I just use it for because it is more relevant to the topic. So when we saw more charts in the newspaper, it started getting, more I mean, there is more, there is increase from 90s period, and then how it is going up. And this is another scatter plot where you have more variables on one side, one family type, family 2, family 3, and you want to show their relation with the other side. So again, you need to have need to develop an understanding where we can use the which form of visualization. I'm just giving you some exposure. You can go back and check it again. So this is another form of scatter plot or bubble chart, we say it. And this is very simple, word cloud. If you go and search in Google word cloud generator, you will be able to find many of the platforms where you can go and generate it. Mentimeter also does pretty much same. If you enter it, it generates word cloud only. And then infographic, Canva and all, they all give you the option to create infographic. So if you go and check Canva, one of the form of data visualization is available, infographic. And then data wrapper, I already told you. And these are few visualization which you can always look into. This is very interesting visualization created by Hindustan Times way back in 2016. And this is done through coding and all. This is not some DIY tool. This is purely coding, and all the information they have compiled from geetmala.com. So if you scroll down, so this will show you all information about Lata Mangeshkar, right? So how she started singing. And then uh, if you go scroll, it will keep on changing and changing. Change is based on the data they have fed, so this is not an individual work, okay? I'm just showing you that the kind of work we are doing, right? Indian newsrooms. And this was done long back. And both the reporters, I have met them personally while interviewing them. They had a coding background, and that's how they're able to bring these kind of this kind of visualization. So let Lata sing also. This is another interesting thing which they have. So if I can select a mood, and then accordingly I can check, it will show the video, but it is not available because this project is somewhere it's not they had to shut down this project for certain reasons. Interactives, under interactives, they used to publish. So these kind of things they have experimented. And many forms of visualizations are there. And I'll refer you to India Span, Live Mint, Da Hindu, and Hindustan Times again started publishing it. You can go back and check that also. So in order to understand how we are working in Indian context, how Indian newsrooms are working, so you can go back and that's all from my side. I have taken so much of time, 6:20 it's already, but I'm open
Thank
for
you.
questions.
Thank you, Geeta. There are a few questions in the chat box. And before that, I just want to tell the participants Dr. Geeta is also one of those early scholars to get PhD in in data journalism, and also one of those few data journalism scholars who have extensively published in Scopus. So you can also go and look at her work online. And over to you, Geeta. So
Okay, all
there's
right.
one. Yes. You would like to
Okay.
read from that directly, or you want me to
Yeah,
read?
yeah, I can read. See, this is possible, I guess, to use it as an PNG format. So if you can see this, this is showing PNG format. So you can actually export it. So download image, it will give you the image, and when you are putting it into your thesis, you can just below in the caption you can say that generated through created via data wrapper. That's a simple mechanism to give it credit, to this particular website. Okay, the formula you mentioned, does it work for all websites? Is the formula to fetch data? Social media sites, it will probably not work. This will work. This formula will work whenever data is available in the form of table or something, and you want to fetch it. Import HTML. The scraping thing which I told, it can work for any of the format, but then you have to do certain again, some work you have to do in order to clean the data. And social media sites, that day also that discussion was going on. What has happened over a period of time, earlier it was some APIs were available. Even I had fetched data from Twitter for my one of my research work. There used to be one API which we used to incorporate, and with one hashtag it will give you all the tweet post. But now what is happening, that they have been asking for money. Now Elon Musk is the COE, so the business model has come up. So Twitter doesn't allow, and one link that day has been shared. So I was checking it, that Toronto-based social media tool or something. I guess that was shared on that day. So they are working on this thing, but if even if you use their tool, they are saying that we are not able to fetch anything from the Twitter. We are only able to fetch something from the Facebook and Instagram, and now Facebook is also kind of restricting you to scrape data. Probably they are asking for money, or there's some packaging they are asking. And if there is any free thing available, another tool, uh, which might be possible through R or Python, but I am not aware of. So that's my limitation. If someone in your network knows Python or R, probably you can ask them. Maybe there is a possibility through some coding and everything, it is possible, but I'm not aware of, so I would not take that.